Hey, welcome back. John Stark, Mac the Movie Guy. And please click that subscribe button so I can get into some Suncoast. Anybody remember Suncoast Motion Picture Company? That mall store? That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh my God, I hope this is like Clerks, but for movie nerds. Has nothing to do with that at all. I was so bamboozled by the title. It got me hard. I was like, oh my God, is Suncoast? Man, that would be so great if it was like about a whole bunch of kids who hang out at the mall and keep going to Suncoast Motion Picture Company and like hanging out with all of the movie memorabilia. Just that would be amazing. That's not what this film is. Instead, there's a point in this film where I'll admit I didn't know what this film was. Okay? I don't watch trailers anymore. I just know I'm gonna watch films and review them. I didn't even know who was in this. It's on Hulu. Some other people reviewed it. I figured it may have come out of Sundance. Feels kind of like a Sundance's title to it. It's got vibes. Uh, and it has Nico Parker, Laura Linney, and Woody Harrelson as sort of the cast members that you should know, that you need to know. And it is a writer director, I believe, first time writer director making their stamp on the film world with what you I'm 100% sure by the time you get to the end of this that this is autobiographical, or semi-autobiographical, that this is their life, this is how they grew up, because there's such a specific thing in this film that you cannot ignore it. It slaps you in the face, and I was like, oh my God, they said the name. This must be real. This must have really happened. But the story takes place. Suncoast is not the movie store. It is a end of life care facility where our main girl Doris, Nico Parker, has her brother, and he has brain cancer and is dying, and he has a lot of things that are. This is a comedy, by the way. I just wanted to throw that in there before before you start thinking this is not one true thing. This is a comedy, and the brother's dying. He's blind and has got like a bunch of other things because of his brain cancer. Things that he can and can't do. He can't talk anymore, and he just kind of sits in this room. And his mom is just like I like the fire inside her because of this. We're presented with this really narrow look at her because of this period in time in which her son is in a facility dying. So Laura Linney's character is just not really offered a whole lot of depth, but is given one hell of a moment in time to act her face off. The whole thing is just a phenomenal performance from Laura Linney. She is so undervalued as an actress, pretty much all the time. Um, she's great in films no one ever remembers. Anybody ever seen The Life of David Gale? She's phenomenal in that. She's great and she just shows up and she's on fire in whatever. And that's exactly the same thing. She steals the whole movie. She's the reason to watch. There are scenes where she's interacting with people and I'm just like, this movie doesn't deserve her. But no one does. I don't think we just don't. We've undervalued her as an actress. It's a fantastic performance. Anyway, so she spends a lot of time. She even sleeps overnight, which leaves Doris home alone, where she throws parties because she's trying to be a normal teenager, and she thinks her mom hates her anyway. It's that weird feeling that you get, I suppose, when you're a child and your brother is dying, and your mom decides to focus all of her attention on your dying brother instead of you, and then you feel like, well, what about me? Um, I don't know why we make these movies, but this like this is the same sort of. I get it, but they've had this sort of storyline before. I was watching some, like, Found, right? There's that Margaret on Found who, like, her whole plot is that she spent her whole life looking for the one kid that went missing. So, like, her daughter never grew up with her mother, and, like, this is, like, a point of contention, and I'm like, "Are you shaming her for looking for her kid?" Like, I mean, sure, maybe pay just slight more attention, but she wasn't paying attention to you because you were fine, and the other one isn't fine. So, I do like, it's really hard for me to get with Doris on this one because she's, like, in her head about things and life, and she thinks her mom is a bit much, and it's like, put yourself in her shoes, which is something that actually Laura Linney says. She's like, "You don't understand, you'll understand when you have children." Yeah, you probably will, or just when you're not, I don't know, a self-centered child? The funny thing is that I know that I'm saying this, and the director of the film is supposed to be through Doris, and I hope that she's gained some sort of, like, self-reflection later on in life because I found it really hard to relate to Doris. I really did. I was like, and the weirdest thing is that they make this is why this film is not trending anywhere. If you're ever like, what is Suncoast? I've never heard of it. It's a weird fucking movie. I'm sorry. If this I I thought about this before I did the review, and before I'm sitting here now on camera. And I was like, this is probably this person's life, and I'm about to go on here and tell her she has a weird life, and she shouldn't have made a movie about it. So I haven't even gotten the weirdest part yet. Uh, so one of the things that Doris does is she spends a rather inordinate amount of time with this guy, Paul, played by Woody Harrelson, who's just a guy. He's just a guy. If he's not, they're not related. He didn't know her before. They met because he's a protester outside the facility. Because in the same facility where her brother is getting sort of like end of life long term care, there's another person there, Terry Schiavo, who is directly name dropped. For anybody who doesn't remember that case, Google it. Google will You'll break Google. There's plenty of information about Terry Schiavo in case you forgot what that was, and the fight to keep her on or off of her um, life extending care. Anyway, yes, so that she's directly referenced in this film. They walk past her room, they kind of like peek in, they're like other people. Like it's this thing that like looms through the film, but not necessarily. It's not really about that. It's like adjacent to it. It's like making a 9/11 movie with characters who are in New York while 9/11 is happening, but like they're doing something else, you know? It's it's like you're really aware that 9/11 is like right there and like there's some other plot. It's like a bank robbery movie and like the World Trade Center is falling and you're like, "What? What is this?" It's so weird. It's just a very weird movie, but because it doesn't do much with terror. It doesn't feel like it's trying to say or not say anything about it. But it has to be there because this has to be biographical because I can't imagine any other reason why anybody else would include that. Um, because it's not about that family. Her brother is not Terry Schiavo. So there's no real reason for that. But it's in the film, and then she hangs out with a grown ass man for most of the movie. No, they don't develop a sexual relationship. Yes, he is like a weird mentor, but no one seems to care. you know, Her mother walks in and sees her sitting at the table with him, and doesn't say anything about like stranger danger or she's still in high school. Nico Parker is still in high school in this. Doris, she has her high school friends over. Nothing. No one cares. They all just like, yeah, he seems like a nice guy who just hangs out with teenage girls. Cool. I mean, he turns out to be a nice guy. It's fine. But he teaches her how to drive. It's okay, whatever. They talk about things, and he's the wise one with life experience who deals out uh, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, just very weird. I don't know, but I don't know what to do with this film. Um, there's something here. I'm sure there is. To get to it though, you have to get through characters that are you don't like, or probably shouldn't be here. A situation that is oddly connected to something else, but we don't really want to talk about it because we don't want to make a movie about that. We want to make a movie about this. But it's like she's afraid that the Shiloh family will come after if she makes a Terry Shiloh movie. But luckily, this is a true story for her. So her brother happened to be in the same facility. So she's just telling her story, right? This is her life. Just on camera, on film. Very weird. Anyway, so that's this movie. I don't really know what to do with it. The audio description is it's there. There's audio description. I it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's not necessarily bad or uh, good. It just is. There just is audio description on this. I've been hearing a lot of really bad audio description recently. So when I watched Suncoast, I was like, there's now a term that I'm feeling serviceable. It's fine. It does. It's nothing that's gonna really bring you in or totally immerse you in the film. But if you're really interested in Suncoast, it gets the job done. Just, I don't care about it. I just, it's fine. So, um, yeah, I don't really have any heavy thoughts about it. It just didn't do anything extra. It just it's very flat. The narrator, I'm pretty sort of not familiar with the narrator's voice. Um, that's it. That's all I got on Suncoast. It's a weird movie. It's got a lot of ideas. And it tried a comedy too. Weird genre to be in. Um, weird, weird time to be alive. Anyways, I'm gonna give Suncoast a C plus. I think overall, Laura Linney's performance is the reason to watch this. So I would go, if I was on the tomato meter, I would go fresh on this just to get people to watch Laura Linney. She was just amazing. Um, and I don't know about the rest of the film, but I love watching great actors in mediocre movies. It's a thing of mine. I do. I really enjoy watching actors giving like award caliber performances in movies that we don't talk about because, like, I'll give an example. Richard Jenkins in Dear John. That is a fantastic performance. Not a single person has ever said he should win an award for that. I will. Richard Jenkins should have been nominated for something for that performance. It's a fantastic performance, and that was one I could see. So I was able to take in every single nuance that he put into that role, and it's a fantastic performance. The movie is what it is. I'm sure it has fans, um, but he is great in it. So, yes. Anyway, thanks for watching. MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Twitter, Instagram, at MacTheMovieGuy. Audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.